Hey guys, I just had to make sure that my Wi-Fi was not on. Again, ignore that. Every time I get on here, I say, I'll delete it. It's the same story. So this month we're talking about all things in the reach outs, including follow-ups. Who do we follow up with? How often do we follow up? What do we say? What makes a good reach out was on the list. I actually had this scheduled for Tuesday, but I think I did the Thursday topic on Tuesday. Listen, my whole week has been chaos because my son derailed me all week, and now he's finally gone and I can get back to my job and like actually know what day it is. How about that? So follow-ups. So we talked about how often you should follow up last time. We talked about how you can follow up. So I kind of did both of them before. That there's 5, you need to be following up at least 5 times. Go back and watch that one from Tuesday. I tell you exactly what to say on each of those 5 follow-ups. If one of you watches it and takes notes and when it's drop that down in the comments, that would be amazing because I haven't had time to do that. But the follow-ups, what makes a good follow-up is just a genuine interest in what your customer thinks of the offer, of the product. Like the follow-up is you being actually interested in your customer. That's the follow-up. How do you like that product? What did you think about it? Could you imagine, what friends do you have who have the same need for something like that? I would love referrals. My whole business works on referrals. If you send me someone, I would love to give you product credit or free shipping or whatever you want to give them for a referral. You want to genuinely find out, is your customer using the product? So you're gonna follow up in a week, you're gonna follow up in a month, you're gonna follow up in 3 months, you're gonna follow up in 6 months, and you're gonna constantly massage that relationship and know your customer. You're gonna know what they're ordering. You're gonna know what they actually need. You're gonna be asking them questions like, hey, I love this one. When the seasons change, I love to message all my customers. Y'all, I have a lot of customers and I message each one by hand. So yeah, this is a lot of work. This is the work that it takes to make 6 figures on social media. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. Doesn't matter what the hell you're selling. It's your job to connect with the customer unless you want that customer to buy their crap somewhere else. When you're connected with them and they are supporting you, they will always come back to you for that product. So that's what you want to do. You want to follow up with them to create a relationship. And sometimes it's following up and it has nothing to do with the product. I definitely can get better at this. I have so many messages that I have to send out, follow-ups and people that I have to connect with, that I tend to not spend time in the bullshit, basically, which is how's your dog doing? I heard, your last time we talked, your mom was sick. How's she? You really should be doing that and asking those questions. That is always my goal at the end of every year, is to have every other message not be specific to a product or a customer experience. But you want to know your customers. You want to know, I was gonna say, when the seasons change, I love to message all my customers and say, hey, Susie, hey, happy May. You know what? It's getting hot here in Atlanta. I wanted to check in with you and see how's your skin feeling now that the seasons are changing. How's your skin feeling? I know my skin changes between summer and winter, and I have to change up some of what I use, and your customers also do. If you're in activewear or whatever, do you need some new tank tops to go with your joggers? I don't know, whatever month, holidays are coming up. Do you need, new cooking tools or, gifts or whatever, whatever, when the seasons change, I like to be following up with my customers and I want them to hear from me regularly. It used to be every couple of months, and now I'm lucky if I get them once a quarter. Because it's a lot. And so you can't send a bazillion messages all at once. There is a way to automate this. Once you're making good money and I would say at least $1,000 a month consistently, then yeah, offload this. Like you can either pay a VA to do it, or you can offload it to an automation system, which is what I do. So a lot of times, depending on how I'm working on social media and how much I'm going to be in there, like if I'm busy for a day and I didn't set this up while I was working because my Facebook page is doing something wonky, but normally I just have it set to every 5 minutes send another message to another customer, and I have all my customers in a pile. So if you're ready for that, if you're making money and you want to offload some of those tasks, I can help you, or pay a VA to do it. To me, a VA takes more time because you got to tell her what you want her to do, and then you got to check to make sure she's doing it, and then you got to monitor that she's actually spending the time working for you and not somebody else. So the VA thing, I haven't latched onto. It just seems like more trouble than it's worth. And I don't want to give anybody access to my Facebook page because that just seems dangerous. Like, can't they just hold that for ransom? Like, if they want you to pay them more? I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Following up, what makes a good follow-up is genuinely you give a shit about your customers. And what I really want to like drive home, you guys, is don't just send a link and never talk to them again. Don't do that. Don't just send a random link about something and never speak to them again. Before you send the link, ask them some questions about what they're curious about. When they ask for information, you don't just send them a link. Oh, here's my link to buy this. No, it's like, hey, I got your request for more information. Let me ask you this, or this, or this. That'll tell me like which link to send, and then you can upsell, you can add other, you can say, you might want to take a look at this and this. If they're looking for heel cream, you might want to be like, oh, you know what? People who love this also love that, or here's this whole line, or I'll give you a discount if you order more than one thing today, or shipping's free after the first item. You can put as many things in your cart, no shipping. If you need refills now, whatever. Be asking questions so that you can discover for each customer, like what they like, what they don't like, what they need. It's like your job to be couture. Does this sound exhausting? I mean, it kind of is, but this is what the top 1% do. And this is why they make 7 figures. Now, are they all handling their customers themselves? Probably not. They probably have VAs. I would if I was making 7 figures. But this is how they're training their team. They're training their team to do it by hand and to learn how to nurture a customer experience and to help them navigate through the product experience. And if you like this, you should get that. Or, oh, I didn't want you to miss the sale. Or I know you were loving this. We have this that just came out that I think you might want to take a look at. That kind of stuff. So that is what makes a good follow-up. But the whole point is make sure you're following up. Like you saw the sales statistics that I posted last Tuesday. 80% of sales come from the 5th to 8th touch point. Or maybe it was the 8th or more. Yeah, maybe it was the 5th. Anyway, more than what you're doing, I can assure you. So if you're not making sales, you're not following up. And bonus, you guys, when you message them on Messenger, when you send them a message to ask them how they're doing, maybe you haven't messaged them in 3 months. Maybe you haven't messaged them since they bought in 2023. I don't know. But when you message them, guess what they see for the next 4 days? Every freaking post you post, every story you put up. Because you sent them the message, the algorithm's going to push all your content into their feed. So it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're acting like you give a shit about your customers, and they are seeing everything you want them to see. Make sense? So make sure you're following up. Just follow up. It doesn't even matter. Like, just send a message. You could be like, hey, Sarah, haven't heard from you. Wanted to check in, see how you're doing. That's a perfect follow-up. That's a perfect one. Just check in. Just check in. So go back to Tuesday if you haven't watched that. Write down the 5 things that you need to do for like a true customer follow-up, and then incorporate some of these great ideas. Lots of great ideas that don't include like just basic, product stuff. Like, try to be human, try to get to know your customer. You want to know them like a friend. Your goal is to, when you're going through your feed, to know each person in your feed because you've had a conversation with them, whether they're your customer or not, and you know these people. That's the goal. That's the goal of all of this, the engaging, the friending, the reach outs, all of that. The goal is for you to know this pile of people in your Facebook page. So, I mean, for me, that's around 3,000 people. You should know most of them all the time. And if you don't, following up, getting into stories, chatting with them about whatever they're posting, that's how you get to know them. That's how they get to trust you. And then that's how the sale happens. So make sure you're not only doing the things on the DMO list, but that you're actually doing them with the intent to get to know your followers. You want them to trust you. You want to get them to know, like, and trust you so that they reach out to you for a product or a service that they could get anywhere else, but they want it from you because they've connected with you. Hope that helps. Have a good day, you guys. Bye.